My name is Mimmi from C-Mimmi-O and welcome back to the channel. Today's topic will be about how to choose between opportunism and focus in your B2B marketing strategy. Okay, I think every marketer has been in a meeting where someone is jumping up and saying, there's this new great opportunity, we should really jump on it. It might be a new social platform, might be a customer segment or a new industry, a new partnership, a trend, or just the latest kind of AI tool that everyone seems to be using right now. And then someone else around the table is going, but that's just a distraction. We need to stay focused. Who's right? Well, to me, both are kind of right. And that is the topic of today's discussion. I think a big mistake for B2B companies is that their marketing strategy is not serving them. They're applying wrong strategy for the wrong stage of growth. And I wanted to go through a little bit how opportunism can then create growth for you, and when does focus do that? Okay, let's talk about something called marketing paradox. Because marketing is full of opportunities. Every week there's another trend, another AI platform, another channel, or another partnership, another event, or another tactic that's promising explosive growth. But if you go chasing every one of those opportunities, your strategy will disappear. But if, on the other hand, if you reject every opportunity, you stop evolving. I think that a successful way to work is that you don't choose one or the other. You learn when each one of them makes sense. And that depends almost entirely on where the business is today. Let's take startups. If you're an early stage startup, focus does sound wonderful. Unfortunately, it's most of the time quite unrealistic. At this point, you don't really know who your perfect customer is, which channels perform the best, which messaging is resonating. And you don't really know whether you've really found the perfect product market fit yet. And that is why successful startups actually practice what I call structured opportunism. They experiment constantly, but every experiment has a purpose behind them. It's about collecting evidence, learning, testing assumptions. If we think about, for example, Slack, they weren't exactly originally building a workplace collaboration software. They were building a game, and that game failed. But during the journey, they realized the internal communication tool that they had created was far more valuable than the game itself. That was opportunism. But once they recognized the opportunity there, they became incredibly focused. They didn't try to sell to everyone. They focused on technical themes. Okay, let's move up to scale-ups. This is where things can become a bit dangerous. You found your product market fit. The revenue is growing and the team is expanding. Suddenly, everyone has ideas. We should target healthcare. We should expand to Germany. We should launch another product. We should target enterprise. We should add another buyer persona. Individually, these ideas, they're really not bad, but collectively, they become chaos. And that is where a lot of scale-ups start to lose momentum. because instead of building on one success, they dilute it across 5 different initiatives. The companies that succeed, they are doing it differently. They sequence their growth. They don't try expanding everywhere at once, and they choose one opportunity, execute it well, then move to the next. HubSpot is a brilliant example on this. They didn't suddenly become an all-in-one platform overnight. First marketing, then sales, then customer service, then operations. Each step built on the previous one. Okay, we're at the enterprise stage now. This is where many people assume companies can do anything because they have all the resources in the world. Ironically, the opposite is actually true. The bigger your company becomes, the more important focus becomes. Large organizations have dozens of opportunities landing on their desks every week. Partnerships, acquisitions, emerging technologies, new markets, industry trends, customer requests. So the challenge isn't about finding opportunities, it's deciding which ones deserve your attention. I think the strong company will have to master one particular skill. Know what to ignore. Let's take Salesforce, for example. They've expanded enormously over the years. They have Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Commerce, Data, AI, industry solutions. But yet, I feel that their story has remained remarkably consistent. Everything they do or say reinforces this one central promise. We are helping companies build better customer relationships. Every acquisition, every campaign, every product launch, every keynote, they all support the same narrative. That's strategic focus. Microsoft can provide another great example. Under Satya Nadella, Microsoft didn't chase every technology trend. Instead, the company kind of committed to a cloud-first strategy. Azure became the centerpiece. GitHub strengthened their developer ecosystem. OpenAI reinforced their AI leadership. Each opportunity strengthened the existing strategy instead of replacing it. That's exactly what enterprise marketing should look like. Focus doesn't mean that you're saying no because you're afraid. It's about saying yes only when an opportunity is something that strengthens your long-term competitive advantage. So, how to build a decision framework? How to decide? I think you could start by asking a few questions. For example, does this strengthen our positioning or does it distract from it? If it reinforces what customers already know about you or know you for, it's worth exploring. But if it pulls you in a completely different direction, be very cautious. Question 2. Can we test this with less than 10% of our resources? Small experiments can create learning, but large commitments create risk. The best marketing teams should validate before they scale. Question 3. Will this create long-term competitive advantage? Some opportunities create revenue today. Others build assets that continue creating value for years. Brand, community, thought leadership, customer trust. Those are investments that compound. Question 4. What are we willing to stop doing? This is probably the hardest of these questions because every new initiative has a cost. And even if it doesn't cost additional money, it costs attention, time, energy, execution. And if adding something means that you're delaying your highest priority initiative, it's probably not worth doing. There are also very clear warning signs when you're actually losing your focus. It's a question of how do you know that your company has become too opportunistic. Here are some of the warning signs. Your messaging changes every month or every 2 months, 3 months. Sales and marketing describe the company differently. Your homepage tries to speak to everyone. Your content calendar has no consistent themes. Your campaign performance starts declining across every channel. No one on the team can clearly explain the top 3 priorities. Those aren't execution problems, they're strategic problems. Strategy must always come before tactics. People often ask me, should we be more opportunistic or should we focus more? But that's not the right question. The right question is, what does our company need at this stage of growth? If you're a startup, you need structured experimentation. If you're a scale-up, you need disciplined sequencing. Enterprises, you need relentless strategic clarity. None of these approaches are universally right. They're right for the particular moment in a company's journey. And the simplest rule of thumb for this framework is this. Startups, 70% opportunism, 30% focus. Scale-ups, 30% opportunism, 70% focus. Enterprises, 1% opportunism, 90% focus. If your marketing strategy reflects your strategy, your stage of growth, it's far more likely that you will build a sustainable competitive advantage instead of this constantly chasing the next shiny object. And if you found this video helpful, I'd love to hear more from you. And I also wrote a blog post about it. The link is in the description. And if you want more tips, please press like or subscribe. I think, yeah, that's all for me now. Bye.